My name is Rose Kigen. I'm the Vice Secretary to the Mara Water Resource Users Association, and I'm also the chairperson to Engaringito Water Resource Users Association.
Sairo Kasene Jonathan, Treasurer of the umbrella RUA is Mara RUA, Mara Water Resources Users Association, representing also Talek RUA as a coordinator.
My name is Chirote Jubalari Kirui. I'm the technical officer for the Mara River Water Users Association.
Mara River actually starts from, we have the upper part, the middle part, and the lower part. The middle part, which starts from the main source, which is the Nabuyabi, from Nakuru County, goes across or goes through Bomet County and Narok County. We have several challenges, especially from mid upper and lower. And the challenges include the following. We have a quarry at the mid-lower. We also have car washing, which is taking place. We have obstruction. We also have effluent discharge. And as Mararua, we have tried to intervene we came up with what we call a fact sheet for the car wash. We also came up with a report or an effluent discharge survey. We also came up with an obstruction survey. So we are trying to intervene as much as we can, and we're also trying to come together or to partner together with the authorities or the stakeholders involved, like the county government. And also there's something I've forgotten about the sand harvesting, which has really contributed to a very negative impact in the rivers. Some of them have dried up, like Meroi River. We also have some part of Talek. Actually, the water is cut. And through this, we are trying to push through the county government and the relevant authorities to see to it that we can have an amicable solution.
In the meantime, have you done any intervention that is successful?
We started we have what we call a river health assessment, which has given us a scorecard. This scorecard will help us to push, to hold the stakeholders accountable for necessary policies to be put in place to ensure that things are going one way.
So in the Mara River Basin, we have the upper zone and the mid-upper zone and the mid-lower and the lower zone. I'm going to discuss on matters that affect the upper zone and the mid-upper zone. In the mid-upper zone, that is where we have the source of the river at the Nabuyabuya, where we have a lot of encroachment in the source of the river. A lot of cultivation is also done there, which is done in the wrong way. We have also in the mid-zone, we have a lot of cultivation, a lot of farms. We have these hired farms where there is a lot of wheat planting, where we have a lot of pesticides and herbicides being used. So all these affect the river. There is a lot of pollution in the river, a lot of siltation because of poor farm practices. And as Mararua, we have tried very much to intervene. We have introduced what we call affruitation, the planting of avocados, which has really picked up. This has been scaled to even marketing level, which has done very well. We are also trying, because of encroachment within the river banks, we have also gone to the extent of pushing for policy through the scorecard we have had with the river health assessment, and we have pushed for the Bomet County riparian land policy. That is one of the successes that we are pushing on to. We are also looking forward to working with partners to see if we can do something else to do with siltation and something to do with the riparian land, and also eucalyptus plants along the river.
Mara River Water Users Association is a community-based organization which was established in 2003 and registered under Register of Societies in the year 2005. And we have other constituent rowers who are our members, 23 of them who are under us. and the river itself is a transboundary, from Kenya down to Tanzania to the Lake Victoria. It's about 13 kilometers square, and 65% of it is in Kenya. So you see this large amount of volumes in the side of Kenya, and the other side of Tanzania is 35. So Mara Rua came about when we had a lot of issues like conflict between the humans and also the wildlife. They were fighting for these resources, and that is why there was a need to have an association which is a community owned to be able to fight for these issues. Our main objective in the Mara River is to ensure that the Mara River catchment itself is protected and conserved. And our mission is we want to be the leading champion in the conservation in the Mara Basin. And to achieve that, we've seen a lot of things happening, challenges which is being faced by both now the environment, the humans, even the wildlife, because now the Mara River is cutting across the conservancy, which is the Mara Reserve. So starting from upper side, there's a lot of encroachment, there's a lot of deforestation. In the year even 2022, we saw the Enapuyapu swamp dried up, like because of the human activities which is happening there. And we saw there's a need to intervene. So what we've done as Mara Rua is that we've been able to ensure that we try to mobilize the community to be able even to buy the idea of planting the indigenous trees, and also some which are having a bigger space, they can also grow avocado. We've done the bamboo along the riparian zones as a way of improving the tree cover. At the same time, the community people are also benefiting from the same, because bamboo is something you can still harvest and get money. Same as avocado is a tree. At the same time, you're able to get the fruits and sell, and you'll be able to get some cash out of it. So with that, we've seen a lot of improvement. We started that in 2013, and as we speak now, we have over 5,000 people. So with a minimum of 20 trees, you can calculate that and know the amount of trees that we have at the moment. Again, we've seen a lot of rivers in the middle. There's a lot of siltation. So there's no flow of the river because it's blocked somewhere, because a lot of erosions happening. There's poor farming. And what we've done is we've been promoting the smart agriculture, where people have been able to have the gabions in their farms. And also they've been doing the agroforestry along the riparian zones, so that we reduce this soil which is coming from the lands down to the river. We've also seen some of the rivers drying up down there. One of the main reason is that there's a lot of sand harvesting. We've seen, especially Olomeroy, you go to Indonesia, Siana and Talek, there's a lot of sand harvesting happening, and it's not regulated. And we've seen the rivers drying up, and we've seen the county government coming, but instead of supporting it, they're even making it even worse for them. And we urge this government people, we also urge the other duty bearers, the community, the private sector. We need to partner so that we see how we can come up with a good strategy on regulating on this issue, because if we don't, our rivers are going to dry completely. And this is the main river which is supplying the Lake Victoria.
Oh.
Yeah.
So one thing, what is the space of youth? What as an organization, Mara Rua, what have you done when it comes to incorporating youths to join the Ruas?
Yeah, Mara River, it's a very big landscape. We have about 1.2 population. And what we've done to ensure that there's inclusion even for the youth, the school-going kids, even the PWDs, is that there are some programs that we have initiated, like now the issue of media campaigns. That space is mostly for the youths, and we've been able to capacity build a number of youths within the basin, and they've been doing a lot of campaigns online. The PWDs as well, they've been doing the same. We've promoted a lot of beekeeping, and we targeting that on the people living with disabilities. Again, we've had a program where we have been supporting women on the kitchen gardens. We train them on how to install even using available materials, and also we've been able to train the women again on the production of the cooking stoves, the liners, which uses minimal honeys. So with that, we've been able to see a lot of members joining this initiative. We've been able to we trained 2 groups for women to produce the liners, but as we speak now, we have 4 more groups which are now producing the liners, and they have been able to even campaign and market themselves, and also they're able to get something out of it, because when you market, you get someone buying it, that is your money, and also you go and install, you get something out of it. So we've also seen the improvement. One of the efforts that Mara River Users Association is that they've ensured that the communities who are under us are empowered to be able to fight for their rights and be able to take care of their resources. The key activities that we do for the communities, we ensure that we capacity build them, especially on the leadership, the resource mobilization, so that they are also sustainable by their own. And some of the success stories that we've been able to see in the Mara River is that we've been able to carry out an assessment, which is the river health assessment, which is done by the local community, and we've been able to develop one of the scorecards. There is a report which shows the status of the Mara River in general, and that, with the findings that we got, we've been able to now push for these duty bearers to be able to influence the policies and take action on the recommendation that is needed, because as we speak now, the status of the river is not looking good. We are at moderate, and there is likely chances of getting even to worse if we don't take action now. So we are calling upon again the duty bearers to partner with us, ensure that these policies are in place and be able to be implemented so that we can improve on the status of this ecosystem. River health, one of the issues we've seen is that there's high pollution. We've seen pollution in the river, but we haven't been able to get facts on what levels are we at in the pollution. So what we've done is that we've been able to start a program where it's being done by the community. It's called citizen-led science, which is a tool which is can be easily be interpreted. Even the data which is being collected, it's simple but kind of technical sound, but also which is easy to be interpreted. This exercise, the community members each and every month, they go to the river and be able to collect samples and analyze the samples. So with this, we are able to know what levels are we at in terms of pollution, and also we'll be able to relate on what are the possible sources of this pollution. And we've been doing so for the last 4 years. Yes. Yeah, the data that we record, we analyze at the end of the year, every year, and we use the findings. You are able to relate the findings with the possible sources, especially it's the human activities. You see it's the siltation, high level of, you see the turbidity levels. Again, if there is a sewer line, you'll see there is a lot of biota, the kind of biota which are a bit sensitive to polluted water. So with this, we'll be able to relate what are the possible sources. And again, we'll be able to find what is it that we can do. We have recommendations. And what we've done at the moment, we've been able to push for a riparian land policy, which is for Bomet County. We see if we can be able to reduce this encroachment of the riparian zones. Again, we've been working with the WRA. We see how we can regulate the levels of discharge. We've seen road discharge of sewer in the lower zones where these are hoteliers. So we've been able to partner with WRA. We see how we can intervene on that. We are protecting and conserving the Mara Basin, right?
Okay.
And there's a lot of challenges that we are facing, starting from top down. And Mara Rua has been trying to resource mobilize and be able to carry out some initiatives to ensure that these are some of the issues is that we've seen deforestation a lot. Even in the year 2022, the Enapuyapui swamp dried up, and that is the main source of Mara River. So there was a need, an urgent action.
Let's talk about this issue of having almost seven rivers out of 20 or good number.
Yes.
So what is happening?
What is happening? We've seen a lot of diversion of the river, especially the Naikara River. There's two sources where there's one which is rehabilitated and the other tributary is not rehabilitated, and now the people on the upstream have completely diverted. They just built some gabions to cut all the water, so there's no water flowing downwards. Again, in Olalaimotia, there's another tributary. There's another river between the town and the Mara Siana Conservancy, so there's a lot of obstruction. We've seen 9 pumps going to the hotels and other to the conservancy. So there is no water left flowing down to feed now the main river, which is the Sand River.
Wow. So have you done any intervention towards that?
Yeah, we've been working with WWF to see if we can come up with a water allocation plan. So that is what we are following up with. We are working with WRA as well, because now they are the authority to be able to now ratio the water to ensure that everyone gets, the people in the conservancy as well as the community downstream.
Okay, we have the national body, Kenya National Water Resources Users Association, KENARUA. Do you have any plans of working with them or joining them in doing this? Because now they are representing all the ruas within Kenya, the basin. So, any plans of working with them?
Yeah, actually, when we were doing that activity, we had invited KENARUA, that is the CEO Kiminta, but unfortunately he was having another engagement, so we were not able he was not able to join us. But indeed, we are interested in working with them, because now they have a bigger voice when it comes to now pushing for these people to be able to act and implement the recommendation that they and the community are giving them.
Okay, let's talk about now regulation. Are you from your ruas from your region? How many are they? How many ruas?
At the moment we have 23 ruas which are under us, but 20 are fully registered. 3 of them are still in the stage of finalizing on their registration.
Are they compliant to WRA?
Yeah, in terms of compliance, there are several levels of compliance. When it comes to complying within their constituent ruas, yes, they are compliant because they have members. They're also doing their quarterly reports, but we are having a challenge with now filing returns with the registrar in Nairobi. So that is what we are following up on. We ensure that also they comply with KRA and the registrar.
So you were looking like one of the best intervention, going around recently with KENARUA, is that they're trying to make sure, instead of going all the way from where you come from to Nairobi to register, if you can get these services through Huduma Center. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to waste too much time and resources to go there and register. You can just comply through the nearest Huduma Center that is near you. So I think that is one of the best intervention that can bring all the ruas on board.
we're struggling because one of the reasons why we're struggling with the filing returns in Nairobi is because the people who formed the RUA, the initial officials, they're not there anymore. Like they moved, some they've relocated, and you find it's very difficult because now they have new official elected. Those people cannot file the return, so they now have to locate where the old people went, and it's a struggle. And if we are able to digitize this, we'll be able to even those people who are far, they can still file returns in wherever they are and be able to help these rules comply.
Okay.
Mara Day is a big day which was started in the year 2012. And it was started in the Mara River Water Users Association offices in Kenya. And it means a lot because it helps us recognize, or rather be able to identify the milestones in terms of the conservation that has been done in the Mara Basin. So the last year that we were also able to come up with a way of, because this Mara River is a transboundary, we were able to come up with a way of now be able to also recognize what is happening in Kenya and also what is happening in Tanzania. And we came up with a transboundary forum, which will be a platform for all of us to be able to discuss our issues and be able to identify what is it that we can do to be able to better our catchment.
So what was the theme of Mara Day?
So the 13th Mara Day, which happened in September 15th, 2024, was Flowing Forward Together, which is now the Conserving the Mara Basin, Ecosystem for Sustainable Biodiversity and Climate Resilience.
Okay. What are the intervention and what are your recommendation to the communities and partners?
My recommendation to the community, especially on sand harvesting, that there is a fact that we cannot do without sand harvesting because each one of us do construction, but we should come up with a way to do it sustainably. The stakeholders also, there are those who work in silos, we realize that. So we need to come up together to bring synergies together and see how we can work together. Secondly, about the leadership, they should embrace our ideas and help us also. We should all own the challenges for our community to go forward. The hoteliers that surround the game reserves, that do the discharge along the rivers, actually my recommendation to them, they should adhere to rules and regulation by the WRA, NEMA, and especially coming up with lagoons or wetlands where their sewages are treated before they are released into the rivers.
Okay, and now that you've talked about coming up with policies and everything, do you have an example of a county that has implemented such kind of policy when it comes to sand harvesting?
There was a policy which the county government of Narok is coming up with, though I am not sure how far they have gone. But there is a policy. One thing I know, there is a policy. And what I urge them is actually that the moment they will come up with a policy, they should also take an initiative of implementing those policies, not only coming up with policies and then they gather dust in their shelves.
Yeah, we have Makueni being one of the best example when it comes to sand harvesting, having policies in place for sustainability. Do you think you can employ that?
Yeah, you can do that. It's possible. Also take us for benchmarking, best practices and all that.
My recommendations to the communities living along the river is that they can at least plant water-friendly trees and avoid the planting of eucalyptus along the river banks. Another recommendation is to our county government, especially the Narok County government and Nakuru County government. I think they can adopt the style of Bomet County, where we have riparian land policy. That will really assist very much towards the farm practices. I really urge the county governments to come in and assist the farmers by training them on good land farm practices.
So yeah, those are good recommendations because by the end of the day, their livelihood will be taken care of. So is there anything you have to tell your community when it comes to the safeguarding of water resources?
Okay, to the safeguarding of water resources, to our communities, I would urge them very much to increase the number of plants in their farms to the 10% that the government is giving.
So why did you join the Rowers?
What actually made me join the Water Resource Users Association is water conflicts, especially during the dry season, whereby we would go for water for several hours, and I saw that there is need to conserve this very important thing. That is why I really made the choice to join the Water Resource Users.
Tell us about the position of men in the community and young men that are coming up in the community. What do you say to them?
Men, both young and old, should actually take an active role in conservation, since most of them actually are the owners of the land. Should plant more trees. So we should reduce the number of livestock, maybe to gear towards improved breeds, not the quantity, but the quality ones. So they should be involved in all spheres, and also they should also help the women in conservation efforts. Actually, I've seen a lot of there are challenges, as I mentioned earlier, like the degradation, over obstruction, and then also effluent discharge. There's also this soil erosion, like the production of gully erosion. So it actually became a driving force for me to be part and parcel of conservation, because without acting now, if not now, as the Swahili saying, kama si leo, ni sasa hivi. So I decided to create a conservation.
To our communities, I would urge them to, in matter of environmental protection, that each and everyone should be included, having the men, the youth, and the women, as matters of environment cannot be done by one person. I think we do play a big role, especially in water sector, because as women, we are the ones who are using the water. We are the ones who are misusing also the water. So I would urge the women that we should use our water sparingly and conserve, considering that there are others downstream who need the same water. We should also avoid the use of taking our clothes to the river, washing our clothes in the river. We should at least wash clothes away from the rivers.